What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm CJ and today we're going to be talking about Camp Cretaceous Season 3. Just a quick spoiler warning, there will be spoilers for Season 3 and possibly Season 1, 2 and 4. Today I'll be giving my opinion and general review over what I think of Season 3. Today I'm going to be rating it out of 5 Sammys. There are 10 episodes in this season, which is more than the previous seasons when they usually have 8 episodes. Let's start with episode 1. We first see the campers in episode 1 as they're trying to finally get off the island. We see that a lot of time has elapsed. During the time between season 2 and season 3, Kenji's got a beard, Brooklyn's roots have grown out even more, everyone's hair is basically grown out as well. They got a little raft and Bumpy's chasing after them because she doesn't want them to leave her, and it's so sad. That part is just devastating. Ben having to leave Bumpy behind. You know, less Sammys for that because it's not Sammy-like. I love the Kenji and Sammy dynamic. I love their excitable nature. Brooklyn and Yaz on the other hand hate it so much. It absolutely sucks. We get more of Darius and Ben in this episode, and I just love their dynamic, their little bromance. I love their relationship developing more and Darius trying to help Ben with his whole not wanting to leave Bumpy behind situation. I did find a plot hole in this episode. In season 2, they talk about how they are trying to look for a new camp and they can't go in a certain place because of pterodons, and that's where they are nesting. And we find out that the pterodons are nesting in this sky gondola place. I don't remember what it's called. Shouldn't they have known about that? Shouldn't they have known that the pterodons were there? I feel like that it's already been mentioned that they knew that. I'm gonna give this 3 out of 5 Sammys. On to episode 2. Episode 2 gets a 5 out of 5 Sammys. Why is that? Because I think this episode is genuinely so tense and very well done, very well scripted. I quite enjoyed the Brooklyn and Darius duo for pranks and trying to prank Kenji. That trio as a whole is like my favorite trio. It really immerses me. It's very immersive into the world of the Camp Cretaceous, and wondering like what could possibly be causing it. Like, what is this E750? What could this possibly mean for the campers getting off of the island? What I found absolutely hilarious was Ben and Yaz playing with Sammy and with how she's thinking she's losing her touch with Bumpy. Absolutely hilarious that Bumpy is just enjoying Yaz's company more because she carries snacks in her pocket. Episode 3 gets a 5 out of 5 Sammys. I find it absolutely adorable in this episode that Kenji is just trying to impress his friends. He's obviously not had very many emotional connections to anyone in his life. I like to think this episode is kind of like with those video games where you can't unlock this very specific thing that you've seen until you finish this very specific quest that gives you this very specific object that unlocks this very specific thing that you found just before. Like Brooklyn's MasterCard, they couldn't access Kenji's penthouse and previously in season 2, and now they can because Brooklyn found a MasterCard. I do feel bad for Sammy and being scared to go back home because of Manticore. That sucks. She's a small teenager. She doesn't deserve that sort of fear. On a lighter note, Yaz, Sammy and Ben as a trio, so cute, so funny, we love that. Alrighty, episode 4. This one once again gets a 5 out of 5 Sammys. I quite enjoy season 3, likewise with season 2. This one mostly gets a 5 out of 5 Sammys because of the return of Blue the Velociraptor. The Brooklyn and Sammy duo absolutely sucks. I do not like this duo. I think that Sammy deserves a lot better than that. I don't like that they left Ben behind in this episode. What was he doing? I just want to know, like, I want to know more about Ben. You're isolating him from the group and I don't like that. Kenji saying clever guy instead of clever girl in the line from the original Jurassic Park. Why? That's just so dumb. I hated that part. In this episode, we also get Dr. Wu's logs from E750 and we get quite good foreshadowing from the venomous spikes on the Scorpius Rex now has a name, Scorpius Rex, very dangerous hybrid. Episode 5. I really enjoyed the build-up in this episode for the Scorpius Rex and actually seeing it for the first time to see how scary it is compared to the Indominus Rex. My favorite scenes in this are Darius and the Gallimimuses, him finding them because it was important to his dad and they were his dad's favorite dinosaurs. It makes my cold dead heart very happy. A total loss for the camp fam was Kenji being in charge. So now they're running from dinosaurs a lot. What I found funny in that scene was Kenji packing hair gel. Obviously he'd have hair gel, but I didn't assume that he would have found the thing in the rubble of the previous Camp Cretaceous. That's not something that like remotely even crossed my mind. An honorable mention in episode 5 is that the animators seem to be getting a lot bolder with animating death. They animated a Gallimimus in a tree. It was quite a bit, you could see quite a bit of the body. I give a 10 out of 10 for the new Scorpius Rex, the new dinosaur hybrid. The scenes are so scary, so tense, and they're genuinely cool. The design is really cool of the Scorpius Rex, and I think it really suits. It would be really cool in a live action, but they injured Sammy. So I'm gonna need to give them a 0 out of 5 Sammys on that one. I'm sorry, but not Sammy. Episode 6 now. This episode is so depressing. Yaz is trying to find an anecdote for Sammy. Kenji and Brooklyn though, kind of cute, kind of funny, sort of duo trying to help Sammy. Of course, Ben doesn't just blow stuff up. He has a lot more survival skills than I realized he would have. I didn't realize that he knew things so well. Like he knew the jungle that well. He knew how to survive in the jungle. I didn't know that. Impressive. Go Ben. I do have a comment on Yaz's flashbacks though. I feel like they're not as integrated into the episode as they could be because we've never seen them do flashbacks in the seasons before because it didn't really have a place until now. But it's not something I really thought was a good idea. Like, I do enjoy that Yaz is like, oh, I didn't mean to hurt Sammy. Sammy's actually my best friend. But the flashbacks could have been better integrated, I reckon. I have 2 honorable mentions this episode. 1, Kenji pretending to be Bessie, Sammy's cow. That's adorable. 2, as much as there is plot armor in this episode, very heavy plot armor throughout the show, I think it's really good that we see, even just for a moment, that Yaz does fail. 5 out of 5 Sammys because Sammy is alive. Episode 7, 5 out of 5 Sammys. Episode 7, we get more of Darius's and Ben's bromance, which I love. I love this duo so much. I love their old couple quarrels over whether or not Ben should go with the group. And the idea that Bumpy is the little kid. Darius going after Ben is just like such toxic main character energy right there. Darius, need to get a hold of yourself. Although Kenji becomes the group leader, and that is some great character development right there. I love the character development Kenji displays. The only person who hasn't really showed any character development throughout this show is Brooklyn. Once again in this episode, the animators are getting a bit bold with animal deaths. We see a full-on Parasaurolophus get murdered by Scorpius Rex. We see it full-on on screen as the campers, Brooklyn, Kenji, Sammy, and Yaz are running away. And I do have to say about Ben deciding to leave Bumpy behind, I just want to know, did they think about how the mainland would react to dinosaurs? This isn't at the point of Fallen Kingdom quite yet, where they've brought dinosaurs onto the mainland. The world has not seen dinosaurs anywhere except for on this island so far, aside from Jurassic Park 2. Alrighty, episode 8 gets a 5 out of 5 Sammys. Why? Why do you ask? It's because I named the Scorpius Rexes. Ready for this? I don't think you're ready for this. The mother Scorpius Rex is named Wendy. See, it was a toss-up between Wendy and Karen. And the daughter Scorpius Rex is called, wait for it, wait for it. Susie. I don't actually know if the creators have named them, but I named them. I love the theme of the captain's hat that Kenji has and then Darius takes. It's like a big brother, little brother sort of dynamic the two have. The ongoing theme of the entire Jurassic Park franchise so far is life is worth protecting, even if it means making really dumb decisions. We get lots of Camp Fam group hugs, which is always top notch. We love that. We also get a Darius and Blue moment, absolutely 10 out of 10. I would like to just mention how I can't believe these kids thought they could leave Ben behind, even for a moment, even if they were just pretending. Leaving Ben behind. They should have tied him up, thrown him on the boat, struggling. Episode 9. This is lots of episodes this season. I hate that they continue, we can trust adults in this show. If we've learned anything from this show, in this specific franchise, you can't trust the adults in this world. And yet they dock their gosh dang boat and they go into this helicopter. They could have done the same thing by going on the boat, but then they almost die. Where did the helicopter go? Where'd the pilot go? I mean, not the helicopter. The pilot did she just die and just poof, gone. This episode though does correlate a lot with Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom at the very beginning of it. This episode we find out that the campers have been there for 6 months. We get whole new trios in this, which is really cool. So we have Kenji, Sammy and Ben, and then other trio is Yaz, Brooklyn and Darius. I find that these trios are motivated by finding their significant other in the group. You know, Darius and Ben, Yaz and Sammy, Brooklyn and Kenji. When they are escaping the T-Rex, I just 0 out of 10 for their hiding spots. They're terrible. 0 out of 10 for Brooklyn's whatever it takes. That, no. 0 out of 5 Sammy's for trusting adults. And last but not least, episode 10. I don't agree with Dr. Wu's kind of shenanigans with hybrid dinosaurs, but I 100% agree with Kenji and taking the laptop to get Brooklyn back. They could have just wiped the stuff and not taken it to the police. I honestly don't think the cops would care much in this Jurassic Park franchise world. Although I think it does seem like they did delay Dr. Wu a little bit, because it did take 3 years for the main events in Fallen Kingdom to occur. I will say, when Kenji asks, "Where's Brooklyn?" Yaz and Darius's reactions, I would have been like, screamed by the T-Rex. I'd just start sobbing right there. Another honorable mention is Sammy's mental pictures and telling Darius he looks dippy because he blinked in her mental photo. And then later on, Darius taking a mental picture of Jurassic World as they're leaving. Next, I think this episode is kind of the origin story of Kenji having a crush on Brooklyn. His reunion with her was kind of cute, to be honest. I disagree with the relationship so much, but this was kind of cute. When I first watched season 3 before season 4 came out, I even thought that there maybe was something between Kenji and Brooklyn. They were holding hands while running away from the Ankylosauruses. Did nobody else realize that? Or was that just me? It was glaringly obvious that the creators were planning on doing this from the beginning. Once again, as I mentioned before, Darius's mental picture of Jurassic World was a very nice little bow on the whole series. So 5 out of 5 Sammy's for episode 10 and 5 out of 5 Sammy's for season 3. I think it's quite obvious that season 3 was the last fully planned season that they originally planned for before going forth and doing 4 and 5. Because season 4 feels like it doesn't really fit in to the rest of the show, which we'll get into on Friday with my last episode, my last video on Camp Cretaceous for a bit. So yeah, season 3 is pretty good, but they crammed so much information to it. Sometimes it feels like 2 seasons altogether. I feel like they just crammed it all in so they could create season 4 as it is. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. I will be posting every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, so stay tuned for that. I've been CJ, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!